Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And today we are in the data center. I work at a place where we occasionally get a trainee, and I am the one responsible for the trainee learning something about servers and storage and enterprise stuff like that. And well, there's a new one. He has just started and I have to prepare a machine for him. And I have a server here at my home data center that the trainee gets to play with, because the server equipment that we have at work it's too dangerous to let him play there. So he kind of remote access into this server and he can do whatever he wants. And if he breaks it, well, never mind. I'll get another one or something. But the last trainee, he has worn down the machine I have down here. So if we pan down a little bit, right down here at the bottom, there is a older IBM 3950, and well, that has some red light diodes, and I thought we might just as well go see what the f is up with that. So that's the plan. System X 3950, and this is an oldie. I think it's from 2005-6-ish, and it's a quad CPU or quad socket server, and inside there is 4 Xeon dual core processors, and they are 2.667 gigahertz each. But it has an error, and there is a nice little error panel on this one. It's complaining about PS, and it's complaining about something called NONRED. And well, you can of course go and Google this and you would find a solution, but you could also just check what's on the server. And as you might know, IBM servers and also HP servers and lots of other servers, they have a lot of explanation on top of them. So over here is an explanation about the light path diagnostics, and if you search here you can see that it thinks that there's a power supply that has failed. And if we go down and find the non-red, that's about that there is no redundancy on the power supply system operating with 2 power supplies, but there are no redundancy. Well, I just checked that. I pulled out one power supply, and that was, I haven't had it turned on, so it wasn't running, but it did not lose power when I did that. And I pulled out the other one, well, I plugged in the first one first, and then I pulled out the other one, and that was fine. So I wanted to turn it on and see what happens. So I have connected the monitor. So let's open the monitor here, turn that on, and down here on the light path diagnostic there is the power on button right there. And I need something sharp. I have a piece of wire here. Turn on a server like that. So now that's on, and we can wait and see if we get something on the screen. And we do. This is the X3 series. These servers are not the quickest at booting, so I will boot this and meet you in the BIOS, I think. Okay, we just get a little bit of the specs here. It's a dual core Intel Xeon MP 2.6 GHz, 32 gigs of RAM, 4 CPUs, and the BIOS version is down here. This should be the latest and greatest, which is already pretty old, and I have to press F1. Now I'm falling asleep here. Let's see, we are entering setup, so that's cool. The network, the RAID adapter, and we can press Ctrl A to go in and configure our RAIDs. It should come up with some virtual drives, I guess. The RAID controller is a server RAID 8i, and there is 256 megabytes of cache. There is one array, 273 gigabytes, and it's a RAID 5. And and BIOS has been installed successful. We have 2 network cards. It will be entering the BIOS now. There we are. And it's getting data from the baseboard management something. Configuration has detected an error. Let's see what that is. Okay, it's detected an I/O port. It's probably the mouse. Yes, has not detected. Oh, where did that go? That's weird. Okay, so it's probably fine. Let's see what this says. Mouse. It's complaining about the mouse. Okay, but let's see if it has something smart to tell me about the errors that we have. It can see different errors. I have had the... Oh, we have a BMC system log at 100%. That was the BMC has its own log, and that's part of the BIOS. So if we clear that log, we might actually get rid of this error. And here is 90% full. It's a bit weird that it has gotten full the same day. Something odd there. Okay, we can clear error log down here if we can get down to it. Apparently we can clear this log. Let's see what happens. System log is now empty. Let's see if that's it. But I think the BMC log is in here under advanced, and down here under the baseboard management controller BMC settings. And down here we have an event log for that. Enter that, and it's full of stuff. So we wanna clear that as well. And we can do that up here. We can go to next entry, or we can go to previous entry, but we'll clear that log. Enter to erase, and that will be cleared. There is a really good chance that that is enough to get rid of this error. So if I go reboot the server and take out the power of it, so we will leave the BMC and leave this, and I'll try and reboot the server again. Save settings here, save, enter, and we will exit setup and this, and I'll turn it off. There, it's off. On the back of the server here, I'll disconnect power from both power supplies. Count to 5 or 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and reconnect power again. And that's enough to reboot the IMM, or the RSA adapter. There's an RSA adapter 2 in this server. And back on the front here, the server is still off. It has this reset button, and I want to try and push that and see what happens. Oh, that wasn't that easy. With one hand. Nothing really happened. So let's try and power it on again. I was hoping to get rid of these lights. It's booted, and I pressed so that it goes into the BIOS. You can see that here. But let's go to the computer and see what the RSA adapter says about this. Okay, here at the computer I've just opened Firefox, and we're gonna go to the IP number of the RSA adapter, and that just happens to be in memory here in my head. 210. There we are, and that's an IBM server. That's awesome. Do you want to remember that? Oh yeah, sure. And we set the timeout 20 minutes. Great. And we have a critical power supply 2 12 volt under voltage failure. So there is actually something wrong with that power supply. Okay, warning system. How bad is it? More information that I got in the other one. It would have been awesome if it has showed me that voltage. So apparently this server now has a power supply number 2 where the 12 volt is not good anymore. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can remote to this, just to see. Firefox wanna open options, always. It's probably gonna be complaining about Java. And we have access here, and we can give ourselves some more bandwidth. Events and errors, let's see if we have anything. Okay, it was actually in here. Power supply 2 under voltage failed. What I could do is to go out there and try and flip the 2 power supplies around and see if that disturbs it enough to make it feel good again. Have no idea. It is probably a bad power supply. This server is rather old. I think we'll try that. As you can see, the server actually boots, but I wanna turn it off. So I will just turn it off, and it's off. Oops. Back here on the back side of it, these power supplies don't come out that easily. So okay, let's bring the server in and see what we do with it. So I'll disconnect it. There, I should be able to take it out now. That's really a two-man server. So it's been quite a while since this server has been on the operating table. So I could probably have looked into it in the data center, but well, we might as well have a look how it looks inside. It's not that bad actually. I see that the power supplies does come out, so, and fairly easy. Maybe there's some dust inside of those. We could take those to the basement and just give them a good blowout. Let's have a look at it now that we have it open. Very nice fans here. They are very hot pluggable. 8 of them. Has been doing good, no problem whatsoever. There is 4 memory cartridges. Oh, that away. 4 blocks of memory in each, and these are 2 gigabytes. So I'll take these out. And I'll try and take this one out as well. Just to have a look down here. And here are some of the power lanes from the power supplies. And that might be some dust down there too, but let's take the power supplies to the basement and blow them off. So this is an IBM server, they don't break. So I'm just gonna try and get rid of some of the dust down here on the motherboard and maybe some of these circuits, some of the things that measure the voltage. And it might just be that the dust is making it so that they are measuring just a teeny weeny little bit wrong. So we're gonna try and get rid of that. Caps are all good. And I have some air dust remover here, non-flammable. Locked over there. Cool. And back in with the power supplies. I didn't really notice which one was which one. That was rather stupid. So that way. Okay. put the memory back in. I can't really remember if we have ever had this apart, so I think we'll just take it apart a little bit. And there are some clips here that you press in on each side to release this front cover. And there is a system board in here that you have to get out. And to do that, first you have to remove the memory again, which I just put in. And the fans. There. And then right down here there's a blue lever that goes up and over, and that's to keep something out of the way. It's a locking mechanism. And then there's two handles here that can be pulled out, and the whole system board comes out, and it goes to a distance. And then there is another release button somewhere. There we are. That's the ones that has to be pressed in on each side. And here you have the CPU system board. 4 big beefy Xeon MP CPUs. These are the really old ones. But I see they are a bit dirty too, so I think I'll go and give them a good blow too. I brought it down to the basement and I have been using the compressor to get all the dust off it. But I really wanted to see the CPU cooler down here, if the cooling is still good on these. So I'm gonna take one of these out, if I can. Yeah, that comes out. It actually looks fairly good. So, but let's clean it a little bit. So the CPU came up with the cooler. It was not supposed to do that. It's quite a beefy CPU, I must say. Intel Xeon, and the old ones with pins, so be careful not to break it. And it's a 2.666 gigahertz, 2 megabyte cache, 667 megahertz front side bus, and some more bits and bytes as well. This time I think, can we see that? I'm gonna open this and put it back down. Just use this to get down there. There. Open that up and put the CPU down the right way. Is always a good idea. Like that. Yes. And close it again. Like that. And I'll take the other ones out as well and do the same thing. I can see when I take the heatsink off that this cooling compound, it's still wet down here. That has been holding out for 10 years and the cooling compound is still good down there. That's pretty awesome actually. Usually when you take out a CPU after that long or even shorter, the cooling compound will be bone dry. They did not cheap out on the copper in these guys. They're really heavy, so pretty cool actually. So I need to find out which way they go. They have like this thing here that is gonna be attaching to something. So does it go one way or the other way? Okay. Put that in. Like that. And lock that down. Yeah, awesome. And I took out the VRM modules, the voltage regulating modules, and I'll put those back in as well. They go right here. I think there is 2 of them is built into the motherboard, and the 2 out here on this side is for if you want to run with 4 CPUs. The two other, I can see some heat sinks over here, and I do believe that that's for those voltage regulators. For this server can run with 2 CPUs or 4 CPUs. There we are. And there is this plastic. Here it's actually a drawing on how to just do what I just did. Take the CPUs out of it, how to take the voltage regulators and the CPUs out of the socket and stuff like that, and how to configure all the memory in here. This server is fully occupied with memory DIMMs, so there's not a lot of trouble. But if you were just to put 1/3 or 1/2 in there, you might want to look at these. Okay, I've attached the server to power again, and well, right now it's only the power supply LED that is lighting up, which is kind of an improvement, but let's see what happens if we turn it on. Okay, I'm back at the computer here, and it's still complaining here. Critical event. Power supply number 2 is still under 12 volts. Damn it. We've been checking the log, or I have, and I powered up the power supply down here, 514. I put power on the power supplies, and it immediately came out and said that number 2 was not very good. So, and I also went in and checked if the BIOS of the system was the latest version, if anything had popped up. And the BIOS of this is from 2008. And if we go over here to IBM's page, there, the BIOS is from 2008, and these numbers add up. So it's the latest version, which is kind of sad that this server, they didn't make BIOSes for it very long. But I think I have a power supply problem. The power supply number 2 is probably bad. So this is where I would probably not go tingling more with this, because looked it up. Here is the power supply that are in question. It's this one, IBM 39Y7385. And I also did a little Google image search. I searched for that number and the server name. And it's the first one, and the second one, and the third one, and then it's over here again. So that's probably right. And on Amazon, they cost about $28 used. I don't think we can get a new one. No, they're pretty much used. I usually can't buy anything on Amazon, and if I can, they charge me an arm and a leg for shipping. Often I go to eBay Germany, which is here, and I get kind of the same thing here, 29 euros, and I can kind of sort them down here that I only want things from Europe, and that usually don't work. When I do that, I usually get all the stuff from America, but well, that's just how that is probably. But this one looks fine, so let's see if we can get that. I will try and press that and see where we are at in the world. That comes from DHL and it's located in Germany. Cool. So I can order this, I think. And I cheat a little bit. I go up here and let Google translate this to English. There we are. So now I can buy this. How much is 29? 30 euros plus 16 euros in international shipping. Oh, it comes to quite a lot. Rich. It's probably more than the server is worth. So 13 plus 17. And to make that in Danish crowns, I have to equals 350 Danish crowns. Oh, which is quite a lot. Well, never mind. We'll get this one. Buy. And I can buy it. Yes. And I can pay with PayPal. Vielen Dank für Ihren Kauf. I think we need to translate that. Pay now. Yes. I've bought it, but I haven't paid yet. So now we go to pay. Okay, so I need to go and pay with PayPal. Yes. I think I'll do a little translate once here too. Confirm and pay. Yes. Vielen Dank für Ihren. Okay, I've already paid for that. That's awesome. Is that a... Okay, it's already on the list of stuff that I bought. Okay, so there is a power supply on the way for me from Germany. That is awesome. Well, so there is a power supply on the way for me, and 350 Danish crowns, about $50 I guess. A bit over actually, but I would like to have my server up and running again. It's what I use for the trainees to work on. I have been thinking about upgrading them to this one over here, that one, but well, that is yet to come. I would like them to try this one out. It is a funny server because it's able to run server 2012, but not with the R2. So that's a kind of a tricky thing for the trainee to find out, that he just bought a server. It's like a scenario where he gets some tasks, and I ask him if this server is good for what we are supposed to be doing, and he will figure out that it's a great server because it has a lot of RAM and it has 4 CPUs that are fairly high frequency, but it's an old server and it can't run server 2012 R2. So he will figure that out and figure out that he might have wasted a bit of money because he didn't check out all the things. So that's kind of a learning experience. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see the power supply when it comes, and we'll try and change it and see if that was it, or if I just wasted 350 Danish crowns. That's like 5 good pizzas. Have a nice day. Bye bye.